Welcome, gods and goddesses. It's the goddess Akasha, and I'm back here to just do another channeled message about manifesting. Been receiving a lot of good vibrations and energy here. We're dealing with the effects of the eclipse, moon, the gateway. We're going to have a partial solar eclipse, retrograde this, retrograde that, and there's just a huge gateway open. And the effects of the eclipse will last all the way up until probably January. I say. I'd like to take the time to thank the ancestors, known and unknown, for the things they have done, are doing, and will do in the future. Seen and unseen. Ashe. Ashe. Okay. So, I wanted to come back. I just finished a video about the messages I received about the law of mentalism, the universal law, mind over matter, or the power of the mind, the law of the mind. Now, I want to take the law of the mind and I want to bring it, what we're doing is we're taking those vibrations and trying to link them to the physical world. That's how we manifest, right? We're trying to manifest things from the spirit realm that we seek into the physical realm, such as it could be anything, wealth, love, healing, breaking generational curses, destiny, all of these things, right? As co-creators, right? As part of the all, as gods and goddesses, as above, so below. Ashe, I say. Ashe, I say. So the theme of this is I deal with numerology as well. Or this message was about the numerology, also connected to universal laws. For instance, there's a law of three. I think this law is pretty much self-explanatory. So I'm just going to give examples. For instance, right? We're in the third dimension. That's three. We are on the third planet, which is Earth. That's the third planet, another three, right? We have three parts of our mind, right? We just talked about that. The conscious, the subconscious, and the superconscious, or the unlimited mind, right? Three parts. Then we got mind, body, and soul, right? You have man and woman, and then they produce a third one, a child, or a trinity, or pyramids, tetrahedrons, which is a 3D, sacred geometry. So there's a law of three when it comes to the physical world, between the physical world and the 5D or the higher realms, whatever you want to call it. And so in talking about that, divine mathematics plays a role. So if you have three and you're working with a law of three, then as above, so below, right? And you take like the law of correspondence, right? Meaning for every action, there's a reaction, or as above, so below, whatever you want to call it, right? So you can have -3 and a 3, right? Which one is the bigger number? Well, 3 is the bigger number because negative is subtracting 3, right? So you could do math that way, or which is, in order to build, you must destroy. Something has to be destroyed in order to build. You have to make space for it. I mean, land, let's put it in the 10. Let me give you an example. You have land, right? Land is an asset that never depreciates. Like the value never goes down. The building may get old, but you can always knock it down, right? You knock that down, the old building, you level it out, and you build something new. And the land still has its value because it's still the same space, right? The same piece of earth. Or for instance, if you're planting a garden, right? And you want to grow food. Well, before you plant the seeds or before you put seeds in the ground, you have to go through, right? You have to turn up the soil, rip it up, right? Loosen it. You have to pull out all the weeds, right? And all the rocks and any blockages, right? Then you put your seeds in the ground. Then you put the soil over it and you give it the right vibrations, the right energy, the right thought, because everything is mind. Everything is a thought in the mind of God. And as gods and goddesses, as co-creators, right? We guard our thoughts. We generate, we interpret our thoughts because nothing outside of us has power over us unless we allow it to. As co-creator. No, we can't control every single thing because things outside of ourselves or vibrations come and go. And by us being both positively and negatively charged, we have dips and rips in our things. The key is to balance it. Balance it. Right? And to stay in high vibration to manifest new, which means the downside or I don't like to say downside because that's attaching something negative to it. But the dip is something for you to balance energetically. This is where your tools come in. You see? So that was that message, that thought. Also, what else did I write? Oh, as far as the law of three. So we could take that and we can break it down several different ways. You can have an equation where something is unknown, but if you balance the equation, it'll manifest. You might add 3 or subtract 3. You can multiply 3. You could take the square root of 3. You could divide it. You could 3 to the 3rd power. You see what I'm saying with this? And all of it is different vibrations. But it's all in alignment with the law of 3 or right? And in this dimension, and to ground it, that's what we have to deal with. That's a parameter or actually something that we can use energetically as alchemists to manifest. Right? All right, that was that message. So the third message was wait a minute. The third message I wanted to tie this into was the chakras or the kundalini in the body. And we know mind is the all, or the universe is a thought in the mind of the all or of God, however you want to say it, right? Or the higher self or whatever you want to call it, right? And so the lowest self or the lower self would be the root chakra or your grounding in this third dimension. See where I'm bringing it together now? So the key to manifesting, and I hope this is understood because I'm only trying to verbalize some spiritual downloads that I got. I have to put this into practice as well. I'm learning this as well. We're soul family. That's what we do. Right, Moja? Right, Mama Oshun? Aye, Ashe, I say. High vibration. All right now. So what we need to do is balance these chakras from the root. I would start from the root. The root is the 3D law or the lower vibration. And the reason why I say it's good to start from the root is because when the foundation is strong, nothing is hard to knock you off. This is why a tetrahedron or a triangle, a pyramid, which is a tetrahedron, it's not a triangle. A 3D triangle is one of the most stable shapes, there is. It's three-sided. You can't knock it over. It can't be blown over by wind. I mean, it's very difficult. It would take a much stronger force to knock that over, right? So when that foundation is wide and solid, it don't matter how the branches break off or whatever, because that foundation, okay? So I would start from the root. Now, some of us in this life, or you have old souls, you have star seeds, you have people that have mastered certain things in past lives. This is a divine message I'm getting, right? So you've ascended to a high vibration and you've mastered certain things. And whatever your soul contract or whatever reason you have, that's between you, your spirit guide, your God, your Most High. I could do a reading for that, but even on that level, that would be messages. You have to accept it as your co-creator. So that's up to you. But in doing so, and clearing everything out from the root and building that foundation and working your way up, you can all the way up to your crown chakra and raising your vibrations using these things as tools or what have you. When you make your soul contract and you come back and you're born, sometimes you're born already in the heart chakra. Everything else is already cleared, right? And so a lot of the gifted people go through so many struggles as a child because the older ones are the souls that are not as old as you or not as wise as you or have not grounded themselves in their purpose, okay? Do not understand you or where you're coming from or how to grow you. And sometimes it's karma from past lives, and you just have to go through it because you've already mastered it. And since you've already mastered it, even though it may be painful or not the best, you can get through it. You have the tools necessary to get through it if you tap in. If you decide to, keep climbing. The steepest part of a hill is right before you reach the top. So it ain't going to be easy. So a lot of the black sheep in the family, the rejected, the neglected, the teased, the nerds, the dorks, the outcasts, the weirdos, whatever you want to call enlightened people, they go through a lot early in life, and that's because they're old souls and they've mastered that already. I gave an example before, I'm going to give again, and I like to use it because it simplifies it, but it makes perfect sense. If you're a kindergartner and you're going into the first grade, right? The first 2 months or so, 3 months, I don't know how long, don't quote me. But the first part of the first grade is going to review what you learned in kindergarten to see what you know, right? That's how it goes. Then after you're assessed and see, okay, you know this, then you continue where you left off, right? To learn something new. That could be painful too. When you don't know, that's when you scrape your knee, right? But once you learn what you need to learn, then you move on to the second grade. And interesting enough, guess what the second grade is going to do the first 3 months? It's going to review everything you learned, right? In the first grade to make sure you know it and whatever, and it continues. And these are all different cycles that we go through. The dips, the highs, the lows. The key is balance. The key is balance, right? And clearing out shadow work, clearing out blockages. Okay? So I'm saying, I brought that up to say that some of us start, even though it's good to build a foundation or the root chakra, which would be your security, feeling safe in the universe, feeling accepted, whatever. Sometimes if you've started in the heart chakra, right dead in the center, and you got one foot in the higher realms, and here you are, a child starting off in the lower realms, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. So that's what we're all here for, soul family, because a lot of you gifted healers, crystal children, whatever label you want to put on it, but those with very profound soul contracts and destinies have this struggle. So we are soul family coming here to manifest and heal that. We're going to heal that, okay? Balance ourselves out, higher in chakra, higher and lower chakras. Because once you balance that out and clear out your blockages, you can not only can you receive messages and be very connected to your infinite self or the all, or be in your mastermind, your God mind, God body, light body, whatever you want to call it. But anything from the higher realm, anything from the 5D that you want, you can easily channel with your energy. You're a battery, and ground it, because that foundation, that ground is solid, right? So this is what we're going to learn together. These are messages, Akashic messages. And the chakras allow for a smooth transition between the mind, body, and soul through the 3 minds, which is the all, or the unlimited, or the highest self. And they must be connected to lower self to manifest, or to ground, be grounded, grounding. And the subconscious, or the things, the blockages we don't realize, is where, or programming, wounds, misunderstanding, categories, labels, prejudices or phobias, whatever you want to call it in the subconscious. That's the shadow work that needs to be done to unblock. These are tools, but the work has to be done by co-creator, by you, gods and goddesses. As above, so below. And next, I'm going to talk about ascension symptoms, because I don't hear a lot of people discussing it. And I remember when I was, in fact, I've been having ascension symptoms, something so fierce, where, different little, because when they call them growing pains. You ever heard that term, growing pains? Well, let me say this. If you exercise every day or lift weights every day, you tear your muscles get sore, but it's actually good for you. It builds you up, because remember, in order to build, we destroy. So even when you're lifting weights, you're tearing your muscles, right? You're tearing them. But if you do that, it builds them up, and when they reconnect, they're stronger, right? They're stronger. Again, the concept of build and destroy, which also goes back to energetically, or within your chakras. As you unblock and remove things, you will feel symptoms. You'll feel it, especially if you're meditating and you're in tune with your body as you should be, which will happen if you're unblocking. And there are symptoms. So you're not, and we may get growing pains. So as a community, as a soul family, we'll discuss that and deal with that too. Please, I hope this has helped. This message, the ancestors are telling me that this message is going to reach those with the ear that need to hear. Guided by spirit. I say, give thanks. And please like, subscribe, comment, because I'm also learning and I learn from you. And I just want to say, it's Goddess Akasha. And I'm out. 1.